Hello, welcome back to Let's Play James Fleet Command as we continue on with the reference materials. So today, we're going over Libya, starting with their submarine. Foxtrot class submarine, publication James Fighting Ships, section submarines, country India and Libya, title Foxtrot, type 641, class SS. Specifications: displacement 1,952 tons surfaced, 2,475 tons submerged, length 299.5 feet, beam 24.6 feet, draught 19.7 feet, speed 16 knots surfaced, 15 knots submerged, 9 knots snorkeling, range 20,000 nautical miles at 8 knots surfaced, 380 nautical miles at 2 knots submerged. Diving depth 820 feet, reducing with age. Complement 75, of which 8 are officers. Main machinery: diesel electric 3 type 37D diesels. Armament and electronics: torpedoes 10 21-inch 533mm tubes, 6 forward 4 aft, firing the set 65E or SAET 60 torpedo with active passive homing to 8.1 nautical miles at 40 knots. Mines up to 44 in lieu of torpedoes. Countermeasures: ESM, stoplight, radar warning. Radar, surface search, snoop tray or snoop plate, operating in the I-band. Sonars: Hercules or Phoenix, bow-mounted passive search and attack. India has 6 active: the Kursura, Vela, Vagli, Karanj, Vagir, and Bakshir. Libya has 4 active: the Al-Ahad, Al-Matrika, Al-Khaybar, and Al-Hunain. And I don't know how many Libya as active now, since now they're 20 years older and also they had a civil war. So, but here we can see a picture of one, and here is the 3D model. Surface ship classes: Coney class guided missile frigate, publication James Fighting Ships, section frigates, country Libya, title Coney, type 1159, class guided missile frigate or FFG. Specifications: displacement 1,900 tons full load, length 316.3 feet, beam 41.3 feet, draught 11.5 feet, speed 27 knots on gas, 22 knots on diesel, range 1,800 nautical miles at 14 knots, complement 120. Main machinery: combined diesel and gas, 1 SGW Nikolaev M8B gas turbine for the center shaft, producing 18,000 horsepower at 13.25 megawatts sustained, and 2 Rusky B68 diesels producing 5,820 horsepower, 11.63 megawatts sustained, for a total of 3 shafts. Armament and electronics: missiles, surface-to-surface, 4 Soviet SSN-2C Styx launchers in 2 twin sets. Active radar IR homing to 45 nautical miles at Mach 0.9 with sea skimming at the end of run. SAM SAN-4 Gecko twin launcher with semi-active radar homing to 8 nautical miles at Mach 2.5, altitude 29.5 to 10,000 feet, and up to 20 missiles. Guns: 4 USSR 3-inch 76mm 60 caliber guns in 2 twin mountings with up to 80 degrees elevation, firing at 60 rounds per minute to 8 nautical miles in the anti-surface roll or 7.6 nautical miles in the anti-aircraft roll. 4 USSR 30mm 65 caliber guns in 2 twin automatic mounts with up to 85 degrees elevation and firing at 500 rounds per minute to 2.7 nautical miles. Torpedoes: 4 406mm tubes in 2 twin sets amidships, firing the USET 95 torpedo with active passive homing to 5.5 nautical miles at 30 knots. ASW mortars: 1 RBU 6012 tube trainable launcher with automatic loading and a range of 6,000 meters. Depth charges: 2 racks. Mines: capacity for 20. Countermeasures: decoys: 2 16-barrel chaff launchers and towed torpedo decoys. Radars: air search, strut curve, operating in the F-band, surface search, plank shave, operating in the I-band, navigation, Don 2, operating in the I-band, fire control, drum tilt, operating in the H and I-band, hawk screech, operating in the I-band, pop group, operating in the F, H, and I-bands for SAM, IFF, high pole B, and squarehead. Sonars: Hercules MG322, hull-mounted active search and attack. 2 are active: the Al-Hani and Al-Kirdabaya. Here we can see picture one with the distinctive bow-mounted anti-surface missiles. And here is the 3D model. Wow, this is actually kind of one of the cooler models in the game, since it actually has like a little camouflage scheme going on. Next up, we have the Nunchaka 3 FSG, publication Jane's Fighting Ships, section Corvettes, country Libya and Russia. Excuse me. Titled Nunchaka 3 or Vitor Type 1234.1, class FSG. Specifications: displacement 660 tons full load, length 194.5 feet, beam 38.7 feet, draught 8.5 feet, speed 33 knots, range 2,500 nautical miles at 12 knots, 900 nautical miles at 31 knots, complement 42 of which 7 are officers, main machinery 6 M504 diesels producing 26,112 horsepower or 19.2 megawatts, powering 3 shafts. Armament and electronics, missiles, SSM, 6 SSN-9 Siren or Malahite launchers in 2 triple sets. The missiles have command guidance and IR and active radar homing to 60 nautical miles at Mach 0.9. SAMs, they have the SAN-4 Gecko twin launcher, firing the semi-active radar homing missile to 8 nautical miles at Mach 2.5 with up to 20 missiles. It has some anti-surface capability. Guns: one 3-inch 76mm 60 caliber gun with up to 85 degrees elevation, firing 120 rounds per minute to 3.8 nautical miles. One 30mm 65 caliber gun with 6 barrels, firing 3,000 rounds per minute to 2 kilometers. Countermeasures: decoys, 2 PK-16 or 4 PK-10 chaff launchers. ESM, football, and half-hat A and B, 4 half-cup laser warners, radars, air and surface search, peel pair operating in the I-band in early units, or plank shave in later units, operating in the I-band as well. Fire control, bass tilt, operating in the H and I-band, pop group, operating in the F, H, and I-band for the SAN-4. Navigation, NAIADA, operating in the I-band, IFF, I-pole, squarehead, spar stump, and salt pot A and salt pot B. Libya has 3 active: the Tariq Ibn Ziyad, Ian al-Ghazala, and Ian Zara. And I'm not going to go through the Russian ones. We can go through all those when we get to Russia. So here is a picture of one. And here is the 3D model. I like how the turret clips through the hull in its default forward configuration there. Combattente 2 PCFG, publication Jane's Fighting Ships, section Patrol Forces, country Libya. Titled Combattente 2G class, fast attack craft missile, PCFG. Specifications: displacement 311 tons, full load, length 160.7 feet, beam 23.3 feet, draught 6.6 feet, speed 39 knots, range 1,600 nautical miles at 15 knots, complement 27, main machinery 4 MTU-20B 538 TB91 diesels producing 15,360 horsepower or 11.29 megawatts sustained, powering 4 shafts. Armament electronics, missiles, SSM, 4 Mark II TG-1 active radar homing missiles with range to 43.2 nautical miles at Mach 0.9. Guns: one 3-inch 76mm 62 caliber compact with up to 85 degrees elevation, firing 85 rounds per minute to 8.6 nautical miles in the anti-surface roll or 6.8 nautical miles in the anti-aircraft roll. 2 40mm 70 caliber guns in a twin mounting with up to 85 degrees elevation, firing at 300 or 450 rounds per minute to 6.8 nautical miles in the anti-surface roll, or 2.2 nautical miles in the anti-aircraft roll. Radar, surface search, Triton, G-band, range 18 nautical miles for a 2-meter square target. Fire control, Castor 2B, operating in the I-band, range 8 nautical miles. 9 are active: the Sharaba, the Shahab, the Wahag, Shoai, Shula, Shafak, Bark, Rod, and Lahib. I'm sure I'm butchering those names, but here we can see a picture of one. God, was this printed with a dot matrix printer or something? That's what it almost looks like. Alright, and here we can see the 3D model. Really shows how far we've come when you see like these really poor quality scanned in photos that are super compressed, and then you got, you know, modern games. OSA 2 PCFG, publication Jane's Fighting Ships, section Patrol Forces, country India and Libya. Title: OSA 2 class fast attack craft missile, PCFG. Specifications: displacement 245 tons full load, length 126.6 feet, beam 24.9 feet, draught 8.8 feet, speed 37 knots, range 800 nautical miles at 30 knots, 500 nautical miles at 35 knots. Complement 30, main machinery, 3 Type M504 diesels producing 10,800 horsepower sustained, powering 3 shafts. Armament and electronics, missiles, SSM, 4 SSN-2C Styx missiles with active radar or IR homing to 45 nautical miles at Mach 0.9. Guns, 4 30mm 65 caliber guns and 2 twin automatic mountings firing 500 rounds per minute to 2.7 nautical miles. Radar, surface search, square tie operating in the I band at a range of 45 nautical miles, and fire controlled drum tilt operating in the H and I band. IFF 2 square head and high pole. And then Libya has 12 active: the Al Khatam, Al Zuara, Al Ruha, Al Baida, Al Nabha, Al Safra, Al Fika, Al Mathur, Al Mosha, Al Sakab, Al Batar, and Al Sadad. Here we can see a picture of one at high speed. And here is the 3D model. Alright, then aircraft. Mirage 5, publication Jane's Aircraft Upgrades, section Aircraft Fixed Wing Military Country, Argentina, Libya, and Pakistan. Title Mirage 5, type single and 2C ground attack aircraft. Specifications: power plant 1 SNE CMA HR9C turbojet engine, producing 60.8 kilonewtons or 13,670 pounds force with afterburning. Length 51 feet, 0.25 inches, height 14 feet 9 inches, wingspan 26 feet 11.5 inches, max takeoff weight 30,200 pounds, max wing load 80.53 pounds per square inch, max level speed Mach 2.2 at high altitude, ceiling 75,450 feet using rocket motor, takeoff run 2,295 feet to 5,250 feet, landing run 2,295 feet with braking chute, combat radius 700 nautical miles, and a high-low-high profile with a 2-ton bomb load. Armament: ground attack armament includes 2 30mm DEFA 552A guns firing high explosive or armor-piercing ammunition, 2 1,000-pound bombs, or an AS-30 air-to-surface missile. For interception, 1 Matra R-530 air-to-air missile with optional guns and 2 Matra Magic missiles. Here we can see a picture of, well, this might actually be a Libyan Mirage 5 based on the flag on the tail there. And here is the 3D model. MiG-25 Foxbat, publication Jane's Aircraft Upgrades, section Aircraft Fixed Wing Military Country, Russia and Libya, title MiG-25, NATO reporting name Foxbat, type single-seat interceptor reconnaissance aircraft and 2-seat conversion trainer. Specifications: power plant 2 Soyuz Tumansky R158D300 single-shaft turbojets, each rated at 110 kilonewtons or 24,700 pounds force with afterburning. Length 78 feet 1.75 inches, height 20 feet 0.25 inches, wingspan 45 feet 11.75 inches, max takeoff weight 80,950 pounds, max wing load 122.5 pounds per square foot, max level speed 1,620 knots, service ceiling 67,900 feet, takeoff run 4,100 feet, landing run 2,625 feet with brake chute. G limit supersonic plus 4.5, max endurance 2 hours 5 minutes. Armament and electronics, missiles, air-to-air missiles and 4 underwing attachments, include 1 R-40 and 2 R-60s under each wing, or 1 R-23 K-23 NATO AA-7 Apex, and 2 R-73A NATO designation AA-11 Archer, or R-60T NATO designation AA-8 Aphid under each wing. Radar, fire control, Sapphire 25, fire control radar and nose, search range 54 nautical miles, tracking range 40 nautical miles. IFF, SRZ-02 NATO designation odd rods. Here we can see a picture of one with another pretty sweet camouflage scheme. Looks like it's Russian. And here is the 3D model. Su-22 Fitter, publication Jane's Aircraft Upgrade Section, Aircraft Fixed Wing Military, Country Libya, title Su-22, NATO reporting name Fitter, type single seat variable geometry ground attack fighter and reconnaissance aircraft, specifications power plant 1 AL-21F3 turbojet, rated at 76.5 kilonewtons or 17,200 pounds force dry, and 110 kilonewtons or 24,700 pounds force with afterburning. Length 61 feet 6.25 inches, height 16 feet 5 inches, wingspan 45 feet 3 inches fully spread, 32 feet 10 inches fully swept. Max takeoff weight 42,990 pounds, max wing load 100 pounds per square foot spread, 108 pounds per square foot swept. Max speed Mach 2.09, service ceiling 49,865 feet. Takeoff run 2,955 feet, landing run 3,120 feet, max endurance 1,240 nautical miles. Armament weapons include two 30mm NR-30 guns, each with 80 rounds, pylons for more than 3,175 kilograms, or 7,000 pounds of bombs, including nuclear weapons, rocket pods, 23mm gun pods, and guided missiles such as the AS-7, NATO designation Carry, AS-9, NATO designation Kyle, and AS-10, NATO designation Karen. Here we can see a picture of one. And here is the 3D model. And finally, we have the Su-24 Fencer, publication Jane's All the World's Aircraft Section, Aircraft Fixed Wing Military, country Iran, Libya, Russia. Title Su-24, NATO reporting name Fencer, type 2-seat variable geometry battlefield bomber, reconnaissance, and electronic warfare aircraft. Specifications power plant 2 Saturn Lyoka AL-21F3A turbojets, each producing 75 kilonewtons or 16,865 pounds force dry, and 109.8 kilonewtons or 24,690 pounds force with afterburning. Length 74 feet 4.5 inches, height 19 feet 5 inches, wingspan 57 feet 10.5 inches, max takeoff weight 87,235 pounds, max wing load 158.84 pounds per square foot, max level speed Mach 1.35, service ceiling 57,400 feet, takeoff run 4,265 feet, landing run 3,120 feet. G limit plus 6.5, combat radius 550 nautical miles with 5,500 pounds of weapons. Armament and electronics weapons for the Su-24M, guided and unguided air-to-surface weapons, including the TN-1000 and TN-1200 nuclear weapons, up to 4 TV or laser-guided bombs, missiles such as the KH-25ML, NATO designation AS-10 Karen, KH-58, NATO designation AS-11 Kilter, KH-25MP, NATO designation AS-12 Kegler, rockets of 57mm to 330mm caliber, bombs, typically 38 100kg Fab 100 bombs, 23mm gun pods or external fuel tanks, one GSH 623M 6-barrel 23mm Gatling type gun, and fairing for a recording camera. Radar, nav attack, 2 superimposed radar scanners and nose, mission, laser, ranger, and designator under front fuselage, self-defense, SPO-15 radar warning receivers, LO-82 Mach-UL missile warning receivers, and JERN-F active jamming system. Here is a photo of one. And here is the 3D model. And that will be all for Libya today. So with that, thank you all for watching and stay tuned for next time and stay safe out there. And we'll see you then.